Hey, Robin Wilson here with SCP Agency, and today we're going to talk about something that is so time consuming, but it is so important, and it's the 10 easy ways to write a blog for your busy company while you're still working. So we all know how huge blogging can be for the SEO of your website, and trying to squeeze in a successful blog while hiring, training, ordering supplies, taking care of clients, onboarding new clients, all of the things that go into the day-to-day of running your business, and now go, okay, I need to think about writing a blog, and I need to make sure that it's got good SEO keywords in there, and it's got all of the good things in there to go with it. And it can be overwhelming. So today I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks for getting this accomplished. Tip number 1. Decide on a whole month's worth of titles. So if you're going to post a blog a week, decide on the 4 to 5 blog topics that you're going to write about. So that's tip number 1. Batch a whole month's worth of blog titles, just the titles. That's all you have to start with, okay? Get all of them written down somewhere. I use folders on my desktop to house my blogs in. And so I will title, the first folder will be February blogs. And then inside of February blogs will be subfolders. This title, this title, this title, this title. And they will be housed in there. And so I've already got the folders titled as to what the title of the blog will be. One of the easiest steps that you can do to start this, and it's going to sound super simple, is to open up a Word doc. And the only thing that you have to do is put the title of the blog on there. Close it back up, put it in the folder it goes in, and do that with all of the ones that you're going to write for that month. Tip number 4 is research everything that you want to be considered in that blog. For example, if you're going to write a blog on time management, you want to research time management techniques that other people are using, the Pareto method, or whatever you want to do, research it. I use Evernote for my research. So I would go into Evernote and I would create a note, and the note would be the title of that blog, and then I would put those hyperlinks in there. If I'm wanting to reference them back in the blog, then I would have those links saved in there. And I can go in and I can read and pick out what snippet part of it that I want to quote and refer to. But I use an Evernote. You can use whatever you like. If you want to use a notepad on your computer or whatever tool works good for you, but Evernote works really good for me. So I always research about what I'm going to write about, and then I grab the links that I want to refer back to. Tip number 5 is super huge. You're going to do this all in one day. You're going to write all of these blogs in one day. And you're going to schedule this day away from any distractions. But the cool thing about this is that you're going to be in that mode of creating, and you won't have to start and stop and start and stop. And I get stuck there sometimes. I literally have a folder on my desktop that's called Shit I'm Writing. Because I may be on an airplane somewhere and a thought comes to me to start a blog about something, and I'll just go in, open a Word doc, get as much of it as I can and throw it into that folder. And then I go back and finish it at some point when I'm stuck for something to write. But that's the start and stop, right? That makes me crazy. So schedule a day that you're going to write all of these blogs. You've already done all of your research on all of them. You've already started every one of them in a Word doc, and now you're going to schedule a day away from any distractions, however long it takes you. If it takes you an hour to write a blog and you need to write 4, then schedule 4.5 hours so you have time for breaks in between. Get somewhere quiet and then sit down and start writing. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I use an editor. I found him on Fiverr, and he edits every blog I have. I love him. He is my best friend for writing, because I write like I speak. It may be a huge run-on sentence, or I put too many commas in, or I don't punctuate stuff right, and he makes me look like a genius. He even restructures my sentences for me. It's tip number 6 that when I get done with all of my blogs, I send them one by one to him on Fiverr for him to edit them. It costs me like $5 to $7 per blog for him to edit it back and get it back to me in this perfectly printable shape with all of his markups on there. And he takes about 3 days to get them done, if that. Sometimes it's just like 2 days. So find an editor. If you want my editor, you're more than welcome to use him. I love him a lot. Go to scpagency.com, click on just the tips up at the top, and then find this blog of the 10 ways to create a successful blog while running your business. And I've got the link to his Fiverr account in there. That's a gold mine, I'm telling you. Tip number 7 is find some images that go with your blog, right? So you can go out and search Google Images, or you can go to Shutterstock or Pexels or Pixabay and find some images that will keep the reader coming along through your blog, because the images that pertain to that paragraph, there's an image that may represent that. It helps them connect the pieces. So find the images and throw them in the folder on your desktop in that blog folder that you've already started. One more thing. So for your blog post, depending on what blogging platform you have, you'll want a header and then just some sub-images. And the header should be like a 700 by 400. That should be the size of it. And the pictures that you find may not be already that size. And then your individual ones, the ones that come down, the subsequent ones that go with each paragraph, will be about 600 by 600. Now you can use a tool like Canva, which is a free tool, and you can resize those images the size that you need them, and they'll pop perfectly in there for you. Or if you have another tool that you use to resize your images, just remember that 700 by 400 or the 600 by 600 for those images. Okay, so now your blog is done, the editing is done, the images are resized, everything is sitting in your folder, and now I schedule a blog post once a week. It's the same day every week. It may be on a Friday. Every Friday, I post a blog to my website. And so make sure that you go out and got them scheduled in there. If you can schedule them to post, if you have a scheduler tool that will allow them to do that. Otherwise, set yourself a reminder weekly or delegate it to somebody else to go and post these for you every Friday. Okay, tip number 9. This one is super important, because now this is all of the feeder things that happen to push the reader to your blog, because it's there, and how do they know it's there? So I generally, with every blog that I write, I pull out about 5 quotes of myself writing, and I make word tiles out of them. And you can make those in Canva also. And I make them social media size. So if you're posting to Facebook, that'll be a different size than a Twitter post would, and it'll be different than a Pinterest post would be also. But I create the word tiles in the different sizes for social media, and then I schedule those to go out, and it may be a quote from this paragraph. So I'll grab more of that text, post it in the social media post with a link out to my blog. So I get those scheduled to go throughout the month also, so that those are just rotating out and I'm driving more traffic back to my blog with my social media posts. Does that make sense? Step number 10, we're finally here, right? Okay, so this one is super easy, right? You're going to send it out in an email blast. So if you have an email list already, then you're going to want to send this out as soon as you post a new blog. If they've subscribed, it'll already go to them, but otherwise we just send it an email blast out to our list and just keep promoting it out that way, driving more traffic back to the website again. So this is all of my super simple 10 tips to write and post a successful blog while you're still running your business. It's really all about the batching, and if you can get it all done ahead of time, if you can do these steps and get it done ahead of time, you're going to be so far ahead of the game. And then what you're witnessing right now is the follow-up to this, right? So I have a YouTube channel. So for every blog I write, I make a video. So this is my blog. I've printed it off, and I am going through the same things that were on my blog. I'm doing it in the video format. So it's easy, right? So I come into my studio one day a month. I bring 3 to 4 different costume changes, and I record every video for the blogs that I have going up to be posted during that month. And I just get everything done all at once. So then I don't have to worry about the whole rest of the month. It's all in post-production, or somebody else is doing it. The editor's got the stuff, my graphic designers are creating the posts, whatever. But if you don't have that team, Canva is your best friend. And you can find a great video editor also on Fiverr if you want to shoot your videos and send them off to them to get the editing out of it for you. So Robin Wilson, SCP Agency, just teaching you all of the things that I've learned and I'm still learning. And I hope you guys have a great week.